Welcome back to Numa Straight today. We're diving deep into the fascinating story of the United States of America 1985 mint mark 1 cent Lincoln penny. A coin millions of people have seen, but very few truly understand. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know what makes this penny special, how to identify valuable versions, and why collectors are paying big money for certain examples. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American history since 1909. It was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The obverse side shows the familiar portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. In 1985, the U.S. Mint was producing pennies in huge numbers. These coins were struck at 3 different mints, each mint had its own identifying mint mark. Philadelphia coins traditionally had no mint mark in 1985. Denver coins carried a small d. San Francisco coins, primarily proof coins, carried an S. At first glance, the 1985 penny seems ordinary. But as any experienced coin collector knows, value is hidden in the details. By 1985, pennies were no longer made mostly of copper. Starting in 1982, the composition changed to primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This means a 1985 penny contains about 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. The reverse side displays the Lincoln Memorial design, used from 1959 until 2008. Now here's where things get interesting. Let's be clear, the vast majority of 1985 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. They were produced in the billions. Yes, billions. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 5 billion coins that year. The Denver Mint produced billions more. So why would anyone pay serious money for one? The answer lies in condition, errors, and rarity within the year. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A circulated 1985 penny with scratches and wear. Worth face value, but an uncirculated coin graded at the highest levels? That's where collectors compete. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS65 or above is considered gem quality. But if you find an example graded MS67 or higher, you are entering rare territory. High-grade coins survive in very small numbers because most coins were used in everyday transactions. Proof coins from San Francisco were specially struck for collectors. They have mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. These coins were never meant for circulation. Proof versions in perfect condition can command significantly higher prices compared to regular circulation strikes, but even proofs are not automatically valuable. They must be flawless. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur. These mistakes are rare, and rarity creates value. One of the most talked about varieties from the mid-1980s involves doubling in the lettering or date. When doubling is strong and verified, collectors take notice. A dramatic error in pristine condition can sell for impressive amounts. Authentication matters. Coins must be verified by trusted grading services before reaching premium prices. If you have a 1985 penny, here's what to look for. First, check the mint mark under the date. Second, examine the coin under magnification. Look closely at the date and lettering for doubling. Third, inspect the surface. Is it shiny? Does it look untouched? Fourth, weigh the coin. A standard 1985 penny weighs about 2.5 grams due to its zinc composition. If something looks unusual, different weight, strange shine, visible doubling, it could be worth professional evaluation. Let's imagine a scenario. Out of billions of coins produced, only a tiny fraction survive without scratches, contact marks, or discoloration. Collectors competing for registry sets want the absolute best examples. When supply is extremely limited at the top grade, prices can skyrocket. This is not about age alone. 1985 isn't ancient. It's about perfection. A flawless 1985 penny, preserved in exceptional mint state condition and graded at the highest levels, can command astonishing prices at auction, and this is where things get serious. Coin markets operate on supply and demand. If only a handful of coins exist at a certain top grade, and multiple collectors want them, bidding wars happen. Auction houses have recorded impressive results for elite-grade Lincoln cents from the 1980s. Condition rarity drives the price. It's not that the 1985 penny itself is rare. It's that near-perfect examples are rare. The difference changes everything. Many people hear about valuable pennies and assume every coin from that year is valuable. That's not true. Education is your best tool. Coins are more than metal, they are history in your hand. A 1985 penny may remind someone of childhood allowance money. For others, it represents the thrill of discovery. Finding a rare coin in circulation feels like treasure hunting, and sometimes, treasure is closer than you think. To summarize, a high-value 1985 Lincoln penny would typically have, when all of these factors align, the value multiplies, and here's the number that shocks people. A top-tier, perfectly preserved 1985 Lincoln penny has reached a market value of $38,250. Yes, from a 1-cent coin. Before you dismiss your spare change, take a closer look at that 1985 penny in your drawer. Might not be worth much, but if it's flawless, if it has a rare error, if it's preserved at the highest grade, it could surprise you. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States of America 1970 mint mark 1-cent Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but holds a powerful story and incredible value. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. The history behind the coin. The Lincoln penny has been part of American history since 1909. It was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. Fast forward to 1970. The United States was in a time of change, cultural shifts, economic adjustments, and a new decade unfolding. That year, millions of pennies were produced by the United States Mint. At first glance, the 1970 Lincoln penny seems like just another common coin. But collectors know better, because not all 1970 pennies are created equal. In 1970, Lincoln pennies were minted in different locations of Philadelphia. No mint marked Denver, marked with a small d San Francisco, marked with a small s. Each mint produced coins in different quantities and qualities. And here's where things get interesting. The 1970s Lincoln penny became especially famous among collectors. Why? Because of rare varieties and unique features that can dramatically increase its value. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the front, you'll see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust." To the left, "Liberty." And to the right, the year 1970, along with the mint mark. If there is one dot on the back of the 1970 penny, before 1982, you'll find the classic wheat-free design that had been used since 1959, the Lincoln Memorial reverse. In the center stands the Lincoln Memorial, a powerful symbol of unity and strength, but the real magic isn't just in the design. It's in the small details. Condition mint markers or rare varieties. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A penny that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or worn will usually only be worth a few cents. But a coin that looks almost brand new, with sharp details and original shine, can be worth significantly more. Then there's the mint mark. Some mint locations produced fewer coins, making them harder to find in high grades, but the biggest factor? Errors. One of the most famous varieties is the 1970s small date penny. To the untrained eye, it looks just like any other 1970 penny. But if you compare the 7 and the date between different versions, you'll notice something subtle. In the small date version, the numbers appear more delicate and slightly different in spacing and alignment. That small difference can mean a massive jump in value. Collectors around the country actively search through rolls of pennies just hoping to find one. Now let's talk about grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A mint state coin shows no signs of wear and maintains its original luster. A 1970 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 1 cent to a few cents, but a 1970s small date penny in high mint state condition? That's a completely different story. High-grade examples are rare because most pennies were used in everyday transactions, grocery stores, vending machines, gas stations. Very few were carefully preserved, and rarity plus condition equals value. Coin collecting isn't just about metal. It's about history, scarcity, and demand. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. Millions of collectors aim to complete full date and mint sets. That means when a rare variation like the 1970s small date appears in top condition, collectors compete for it, and competition drives prices up. First, check the mint mark under the date. Second, examine the size and shape of the numbers in the date. Third, inspect the coin under magnification for sharp details and minimal wear. Fourth, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can reduce its value significantly. If you believe you have a rare variety, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. Every so often, a coin appears at auction that shocks collectors. A high-grade 1970s small date penny, perfectly preserved with blazing red color and flawless surfaces, can command astonishing attention. When supply is low and demand is high, the value climbs rapidly. This is why coin experts always say, never underestimate small change. Another Interesting detail, pennies minted in 1970 were composed primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was before the 1982 change to copper-plated zinc pennies. Many collectors prefer older copper cents because of their weight, feel, and historical connection. Even the metal content itself adds an extra layer of interest. Perhaps the most exciting part of collecting 1970 Lincoln pennies is the hunt. Imagine searching through a jar of old coins passed down from a relative. Imagine checking rolls from the bank. Imagine spotting that tiny mint mark and noticing the subtle small date difference. It turns an ordinary moment into a treasure hunt, and sometimes, that treasure is real. So, what is the true potential value of a rare 1970s small date Lincoln penny in exceptional condition? While many are worth only a small premium, certain top quality examples have reached remarkable prices at auction. The highest known examples have reached as much as $50,250. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single 1-cent coin, originally worth just 1 cent, reaching $50,250. The story of the 1970 mint mark 1-cent Lincoln penny reminds us of something powerful. Value is not always obvious. Sometimes, history hides in plain sight. Sometimes, treasure sits quietly in a coin jar, waiting to be discovered. So before you spend that old penny, take a closer look, because you never know, that small copper coin in your hand could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. And that's the magic of coin collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1970 Lincoln penny and want to learn about more hidden coin treasures, make sure to stay tuned.